Hello everybody, my name is Connor, and welcome to NobleAsta TCG, where I post my games and try to improve with each match with help from better players than me, which is you guys. So today we are playing Pudding. I decided to put Pudding together. I just love the Pudding deck. I think she's one of my favorite leaders. I love the mechanic, and I have been watching a lot of Pause plays, and he just posted a list that inspired me to do my list. It's very similar to his list with a couple of tweaks just for my preference, and we can talk about them when they show up, but I will be posting this list. Hopefully I'll remember to put it at the end of the video, if not soon on YouTube Shorts. But looking at our opening hand here, not really what I want to see, really want the components in life, so I am going to go ahead and mulligan. But even though I'm running about 10 searchers in this deck, I rarely start the game with one, so very sad to see that searcher go. But before we get too deep into the game, I do want to remind you guys that if you want to support the channel, head to 1000noble.com to grab or commission a playmat. And don't forget, joining the YouTube membership gets you exclusive discounts, early decklist access, and members-only polls and discussions. So if you are a YouTube member, as soon as this video is up, there is the decklist for you guys on the YouTube side. Just as a little thank you to anyone who does decide to support the channel in the form of becoming a member. I very much appreciate it. Just like Ethan Jackson, thank you so much for being a YouTube member. I very much appreciate you, dude. He actually did vote for this deck. I gave the option of what deck I wanted to play, and YouTube members got to vote. And Ethan, thanks for picking Pudding. I adore this deck. And we're going to get into this game opening hand with a Flampe and two Capones, which is exactly what I want to see, but most importantly, Tenmom. I think Tenmom is going to be really helpful in this match. I think that it's going to be a big body that Koby is going to struggle to get rid of. Of course, my opponent is in the process of building his Koby deck, so it's not perfect, but I think he did all right. So, but of course, as I always say, judge my gameplay, not my opponent's gameplay. My friends are nice enough to let me go ahead and record these games so I can, work on my improvement, but they didn't necessarily sign up to be roasted by you guys. So we actually do draw into another Tenmom here, which is kind of interesting, but kind of not much to do on 2 Dawn, unfortunately. We are running 4 Violas because I just really like Viola. I think Pause Play's list is running 4 Shirahoshis, and I like Shirahoshi. I understand why Shirahoshi, but I don't know. I just really like the Viola card. I think it's so fun. But 3 Dawn to my opponent. He is going to go ahead, draw for turn. Our hand is it's good. We've got plenty of counter, which is nice. The Auto might come in handy if we can find like the 6-cost Katakuri to flip our life down. Just a small little blocker that is harder for some characters to deal with. But no searcher, not much of a mid game in our hand here, but my opponent's going to play down that Kujaku he picked up last search, picking up a doll, and that does worry me quite a bit because it's minus 6,000, which makes Big Mom a 6k body. That's still a lot harder to defend than a 12,000k or 1,200. I'm bad with numbers. That's why I don't play black. But he's gonna go ahead swing 5, and I'm just gonna give him the Capone there for 2k. Getting a Zeus here is pretty nice. Of course, there's not. I feel like Zeus into Koby is one of the least what is the word? Least usable 2ks. To an extent, he's just gonna bring his body back, so not really a lot we can do here. So we'll go ahead, Pudding ability. There is a Pudding searcher in my life, as well as the 2-cost Katakuri. We'll go ahead, get a Dawn ramped, and 6 at lead, seeing what my opponent wants to do here. And I am thinking about playing the Flampe, get more cards in hand, have only 1 less life I have to turn down. There is a world where I think Flampe is worth it, but he's going to go ahead and give me a 2k with, I believe, is that doll that he just put in the trash? There's a terrible glitter right there. But we are going to take the Katakuri, getting the Katakuri, and now we get the Searcher Pudding, which is so helpful. And there is my secret tech. I've got a 1 of the 4-cost Law in my deck. I just don't think people are playing around it, but end up searching top 4. My opponent reminds me it's top 5. So go ahead and grab that purple Katakuri. And now that we have putting on board, Anana becomes a blocker. So a couple bodies on board. Of course, they're not going to really do much at all, really. But we are able to get a blocker up if he doesn't clear it with, you know, a swinging into it, or however Koby wants to clear things. It's an easy block, whatever he might swing. So not in a bad spot. If we keep this life up, we have a good opportunity to ramp with our 6-cost Katakuri and get a 7k body on board. That 6-cost Katakuri, just so good. I love that 6-cost Katakuri. But yeah, just trying to get to 10 non as fast as possible. And I think if you see the 6-cost Katakuri, it is easily done. So I think this might be one of the first or second time my opponent has played this deck, so he may not be as familiar with it as some of his other decks, but that I know is a scary card. Borsalino, while he's I think like 3k power and not that big, he does, when rested, give the ability to attack active characters. So my opponent does swing 7 there, and I'm going to go ahead and block with the Anana, drawing into another pudding here. Pretty nice. Gonna be able to potentially search some more if I need to. We are at 7 Dawn, so I can search and then play down the Katakuri, and I think that's what I'm gonna do here. Potentially looking for some more counter, potentially looking for a big body. Yeah, I think Katakuri here, the 8-cost Katakuri blocker, especially because we did get the 2 costs off of the top of our deck, or our life, excuse me. So perfect opportunity here, and we are at 7 Dawn. Katakuri is gonna give us a we're gonna flip our life down, and it's gonna give us a rested Dawn, which is gonna get us to, or an active Dawn, excuse me, that's even better, get us to 8. Yeah, so we should be able to hit 10 next turn. Gonna go ahead, swing 6 at lead, ramp a bit, and there's all our searchers. So I've never seen so many searchers in my life, literally in my life, but yeah, that's, I think about 4 of them were in my life. But we are going to pass the turn with that. A bit of a, I don't think we have the scariest board, but we definitely assume if Katakuri can live, if that 6-cost Katakuri can live this turn, I think we're going to be able to apply a lot of pressure next turn. But if not, oh, good. Looking at Borsalino, he is a 3,000 power character. That is right. I couldn't remember if he allowed characters or character and leader to attack active, and it's character and leader, so I'm thinking that Katakuri is not long for this world. There is a world, depending on how aggressively he swings, where I can give him, like, some I can block, or counter out, excuse me, I don't have a blocker on the field. The Hibari is going to come down, and that's, yeah, definitely, yeah, going to minus the Katakuri, and he is not long for this world at all. Going to make a 5k body, going to swing, or activate the Borsalino, and then pop the, the Peacock, excuse me, the Kujaku, to buff Hibari. Hibari is absolutely, I was thinking maybe I can counter out that, but no, it may not be worth it to counter out of that. It would be most, if not all, of the counter in my hand, if I did my math right while commentating, which is very possible. So, yeah, Katakuri, it was so nice to see you, but Koby, you know, just doing his Koby removal thing. I think that Koby is a really good, like, I think he's just a really good deck. I am bad at him, but I think he's definitely good, and I think he's just kind of slept on it. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think about the Koby deck. Also, I think Pudding is decent in this meta, but I did play Blackbeard in this tournament, and that was just an instant loss. It's so bad, I'm not even going to show you guys, because I don't think I could. To improve that game, I needed to draw better and not play Blackbeard, but my opponent thinking about if he wants to swing 7 at lead, or or maybe at one of the bodies. I think he can attack active characters. So yeah, he's gonna swing 7 at lean, and I'm trying to decide if I want to counter it, and I'll take the Searcher. I think that the Searcher is a pretty good call here, getting another 10 mom. So our hand is looking pretty good. I'm thinking this is a good 10 mom turn. Establish a big body. If he has a way to remove it, that's unfortunate, but I think we're gonna go ahead, swing 5 into the Borsalino, see if we can get some counter out of hand. Got it. Always catch him while he's eating his bow over there. The store we play at is not only a trading card store, but it's also, it's a game store. They've got cards, board games, and some really great food. So shout out to Sage's Portal, dude. My favorite place to play. Not sponsored. Could be sponsored though. Sage's Portal, I love you. But anyway, we kill the Borsalino and play down a 10 mom, and I think this might be my opponent's first interaction with 10 mom. And we get a 2k into the trash, which is pretty good, honestly. Aramaki, I think he allows for attacking active characters, if I remember correctly. But a pretty good thing to trash. I mean, getting any counter out of life is good. And but yeah, I'm happy with the 2k. We'll see what mom gave us. See what mother gave us. And there's a world where I establish a 8-cost Katakuri on board next turn. And then here I don't end up using pudding ability to minus the Searcher pudding ability to minus a Dawn and get one back as not get one back as active, excuse me. Look at the top deck, and that's a bit of a mistake. I don't think it's a misplay, but I mean at that point it's literally just free knowledge, because I'm already at 10 Dawn. Minusing 1 Dawn is not gonna make me unable to play another 10 mom next turn. So potentially an error there, and I do start doing that later, but yeah, I think that is okay. He is tapping a lot of Dawn there. I think that's actually 7 Dawn of, actually it might be 8 Dawn. It is 8 Dawn because I think he's actually going to play, if I remember this turn, he's going to play Garp here, which is it's an interesting card in the deck, and I think it's partially in the deck because I don't think he has all of his Kobys and Helmephos yet. But if you're like me and you don't know what Garp does, Garp is an 8-cost that on play you may place 3 Navy-type cards from your trash to the bottom of your deck in any order. Give up to 1 Rested Dawn card to one of your leaners. Then, if there's a character with a cost of 9 or more, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 7 or less. So, I don't think that's a bad card. It might not be the best card in Koby, but I don't know, I see potential there. I don't think it's awful. I think it was made for, I'm assuming, the starter deck black Luffy. But he is gonna kill Flampe there, with Garp's on play. And now there are 2 big bodies on the field, which could be bad news. I mean, I think I need to get rid of Hibari because of the fact that when she attacks, she can allow something to attack active characters, and that might matter later in the game. But my opponent does go ahead and play down the Tashigi. If you're like me, unfamiliar with this Tashigi, it's an activate main. You may rest this character. If your leader has a Navy type, up to one of your Navy type characters gains plus 2,000 power during this turn. So, almost like, what is that card? Makino. Almost like a Makino for the Navy. So, interesting card there. Thinking about swinging the Hibari, which is not a terrible idea. Yeah, I think I'm going to use the buff on the Hibari to swing Hibari. I think that's a good idea, making it a, let me do math, 8k swing. I do have 2 2Ks in my hand, but I also don't mind taking this, and we get another 8-cost Katakuri, so 2, and my 1 altar 8-cost Katakuri, so that's pretty nice. And we're going to draw for turn, drawing into a 6-cost Katakuri, and I think there's a couple plays I can do here. My opponent is on 9 Dawn, So I could, in theory, play 2 8-cost Katakuris, which is kind of stupid. Or I could play down another 10-cost Lin. I think probably the yellow Lin. I'm only running 2 of the purple Lins, simply because I just don't think they're as good as the yellow Lin. The yellow Lin is insane. But yeah, trying to decide. Gonna go ahead, swing 5 into the Tashigi. That is a lot of counter. Tashigi is a 1000 power, but yep, he is gonna go ahead and let it go. And thinking about swinging, yeah, okay, so I'm gonna swing the 12 into Hibari. I really want that body gone. Just an extra ability for, an extra ability to attack actives is a little tough here, so playing down the 2-cost Katakuri, and then playing down an 8-cost Katakuri, trashing 2 costs to play down the another blocker Katakuri, and all of a sudden our board is disgusting. Our board is so disgusting, and I have another 10 mom that I can play. Once again, not doing the minus ability with the Searcher Pudding to check the top of the deck. I think that's, yeah, I thought I did that. Maybe I didn't do it. This is the first game of the tournament. Maybe I just forgot to do it. But yeah, pretty bad. I think in this deck there's really no harm in doing it, especially when you have 2 Katakuris on the field, because you just get the Dawn back anyway. And it lets you know what you know what your opponent's gonna draw, at least, so you can at least get an idea in your head of what type of counter they might have. But Kuzan coming down, that is a pretty good body there. And yeah, I think he's gonna see here what he's getting out of the entry pack. So getting his Katakuris, I think he's also building Katakuri, but we all know Pudding is the better sibling. But he does have this sweet Katakuri mat by 1000noble.com. Oh my god, shameless plug to me. I love that Katakuri mat. I'm actually pretty bummed I didn't or get one myself. I'm actually sold out of Katakuri right now, which is a bummer. There's his extra non, losing a Dawn under the leader. It happens to the best of us. Now he played about 4 Dawn or tapped 4 Dawn for the Kuzan. And there, I think his best bet is probably trying to clear bodies. I have a decent amount of counter in my hand, though. Yeah, I've got about 4k counter in hand. So, not a bad amount of counter, but I think that's his best bet there, is to try and clear bodies. And I think next turn, I could play slow and drop another Lin. The yellow Lin, or I think I potentially could go pretty aggressive, depending on what he plays with the rest of his Dawn. Which, yeah, I'm telling him right there, that's 0 cost, dude. It's a 0 cost. It's not. I think I'm only running 2 0 costs. Maybe I should run some more, because, I feel like big mom decks can brick. Well, I feel like that's just yellow in general. And, you know, you want to run 4 0 costs in any yellow deck, because it wins games. Alright, so he is going to go ahead and swing 8 at lead. And I'm debating on taking this. And I don't hate that. I'm going to go ahead, swing at 7, and I'll block with Katakuri. With the remainder of his Dawn... Oh, excuse me, 8 with Garp. Excuse me, I feel like I said 8 with Katakuri. 8 with Garp, gonna block 1k, and we get a Viola, which, it's not terrible. At this point in the game, though, like, I don't hate to see Viola, but, yeah, and now I'm trying to decide how exactly I want to go for game. If I want to go for game, I'm gonna go 8 at the Garp. Yeah, he has a couple Dawn up. He is going to go ahead and play. After all these years, I'm losing my edge, which is a counter event. It gives him plus 1k that if you have 10 or more cards in trash, add up to 1 black character card with the cost of 3 or less from your trash to your hand. So I don't think that's a terrible 3 or less. I'm trying to think. I don't think that's a bad event. It might be good in like Gecko, weirdly enough. Or, it might work in, Koby or Garp even. I do want to revisit red black Garp now that the sword stuff is out. Maybe Garp will be real good. But we do get a counter out of that. We're gonna swing the other Katakuri into it, getting another counter. And that's fine with me getting a bunch of counter out of hand, but I do want to clear that body. So 12 in the Garp, just making sure that we can survive here, making sure that we can clear that body. And there is Glorp Web, which up to one of your leader or character gains plus 2,000 power during this battle. And then if your opponent has a character with 6,000 power or more, one of your leader or character cards gains plus 1,000. So 3k. But I think if I remember correctly, my opponent mathed wrong, and I'm swinging 12 into your, 8k, and we're doing the math here, and math is hard, so, yeah, yep, he's gonna go ahead, just take that back, that's fine. I'm gonna pretend like I didn't see anything, because it's locals, it's casual, and Garp will die, and ultimately that's what I wanted. So, gonna go ahead, swing a 5 at lead, and he will take that, and here comes 10 Mom here. We're gonna get rid of one of the puddings to play down 10 Mom to heal a life, trashing that final life of his, which looks like another Glorp Web there, which, trigger is just get 1,000 to character or leader. And then, yeah, I am going to finally remember the Katakuri ability, and we are going to see he's getting another Glorp Web. So, man's webbed out of his mind. We're going to go ahead, Katakuri ability to restand Katakuri and Mom, and then Katakuri ability to restand himself. Unfortunately, Katakuri can't restand Pudding. Yeah, it has to be a cost of 3 or more, so a bit unfortunate there for me. I would love to restand Pudding, but ultimately it doesn't matter. I think we're in a really commanding position, and I know his buddy came over at this point, and he was like, hey, this is not looking good for you. Which, yeah, this board is disgusting, which is one of the main reasons I wanted to share this game, just because, yeah, I mean, being able to play 2 8-cost Katakuris in one turn is pretty crazy. And I rarely get to do that. I feel like I never have the pieces to do that. So that was cool. And then seeing multiple 10 Moms is great. Who knew? Who knew seeing cards you needed was great? But yeah, my opponent is in definitely a rough spot. But that is honestly the power of the Big Mom Pirates, man. I love the yellow Big Mom Pirate package. I think it's so good. I think Parasparrow, I love the Parasparrow card. I'm not running it. It just doesn't fit well in Pudding, unfortunately. I wish it did. But yeah, I mean, yellow purple Pudding, yellow Katakuri. Yellow Katakuri is one of my favorite decks to play. And so is Pudding. I'm just a fan of the Big Mom Pirates, dude. I can't help it. Okay, so my opponent is gonna go ahead and do his best here. Looks like he's gonna attach 8, going 8 at the at lead, gonna allow his Koby to attack active characters. I will block and give him 1k there. Another 8 at Katakuri, just a 1k there. We have a lot of counter in our hand, and yeah, he's leaving a couple Dawn up. We know he's got the Glorp Web, which may not be enough to get him out of whatever out of everything. So gonna go ahead, just start swinging 8. If he somehow lives through all this, I do have the Rush 10 Mom, but it's in a rough spot. So the Glorp Web and Doll coming down, 8, 9, 10 going in the lead there, and potentially that should be game. 2 for another Glorp Web, a 2k. And yeah, he's got a Helmet Bow in hand. So yeah, I mean, our deck did exactly what we needed it to do, and my opponents did not see enough Helmet Bows or any of his Kobe. So definitely makes it easier to do well when your opponent doesn't see what they need. But this deck is super fun. Here's the deck list for you guys. I will be posting it. Of course, members get it early, so think about becoming a YouTube member. Helps me out a ton. I appreciate it. But yeah, that is going to do it for me, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys liked this video, hit that like button down below. It helps me out more than you will ever know. Go ahead and subscribe if you are new, and I will see you guys in the next video. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day.
すぐに片付けますのでご安心を。おらー、これじゃあキリがねえ。麦わら